I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady. Hi, you guys. How are you? I have not been on here. I have not been feeling good. You'll probably hear it in my voice because I'm just now getting myself back into gear. But I had to crank out this video because I said it, originally I said, I'm going to do 5 reasons why, right? Then the more I start thinking about it, and then, like all of my years experience, I'm like, there are a whole plethora of reasons why our acrylic is lifting. And let me just share with you guys what I've learned over the years, because there are many, many, many different reasons. And if you feel like there are other reasons that I missed, please feel free to comment in the section below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm coming, yada, yada, yada. And I'm working on some exciting things for 2020. So let's get into it. So let's get down to the business, shall we? Hey guys, so today I said I was going to do 5 reasons, but I've come up with 12, and it's probably more. I'm sure it's more. You like my new glasses? I like glasses, right, and hats. So let's get into it. I have my favorite journal. It says here, trust your crazy ideas. 12 reasons. 12 reasons why your acrylic is lifting. Let's get into it. The first one, your nails are probably not etched enough. Not etched enough. Meaning that your nail bed, when you go in to place the acrylic tip, you're supposed to go in and prep the nail bed. Your nail prep is not etched enough. Now, contrary to belief, some people say, oh, you should never use a drill on a natural nail. You will destroy the nail. You will destroy it. It will just be terrible. If you know what you're doing, it's okay. Okay? And when you're working, you know how I am. Time is money. If you know what you're doing, it's okay to etch the nail bed with an electronic drill. I personally use a fine drill bit, and I'm lightly going over. It's like zzz, 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 zzz. But you need to prep that nail bed. So that's number 1. Nails not etched enough. When you are etching the nail, you are opening it up to receive. You gotta, when you're doing nails, this is why I get so aggravated sometimes with all these new nail techs who just want to get right to the designs. They don't understand the science behind it. You have to think about what you're doing. You have to really almost tap in like a computer database. What you're doing when you're etching the nail is that you're opening up that nail plate. The nail bed is originally naturally smooth, right? Oils and different things like that have gone, and as you're working throughout the day, the nail bed is smooth. So what you're doing is you're opening that back up. That's why you're etching, because you're creating small grooves so that whatever product that you're applying can seep in to the nail bed, and therefore attach as it cures. We have to get on a scientific level when we're doing nails. The greatest nail techs really get this. It's not even something that's talked about. It's just you either get it or you don't. So I'm here to make sure that you get it. So, nails not etched enough. Now, number 2. Overly, not etched, but overly buffed nails. I have seen some nail techs, and I watch videos and I watch things all the time, and I'm seeing nail techs buff the nails before they put the acrylic on. I'm like, okay, let's go back to what I said for number 1. If you're buffing the crap out of nails, what you're doing is you're making the surface super smooth. So when you're going in and you're putting your primer, you're putting your acrylic, it's too smooth, it's not adhering, it's not falling into the small etched grooves, micro fine etched grooves that you've placed in the nail bed. Therefore, it slides right off and the nail, it doesn't anchor. It never anchors. So sometimes, some of you guys are overly buffing the nail, which is causing it to become essentially too slippery to accept the product that's being placed on top of it. So that's number 2. Overly buffed nails. We're going to keep going because it's a lot here. So I'm not going to overly talk because it'll be a super long video. Number 3. The true cuticle on the nail plate is not being removed. I wrote it here. What do you mean by that? You have your cuticle, you have your true cuticle. Are you guys taking time to do a mini manicure? I personally, at this point in time, my technique changes all the time, but right now, I'm always pushing back the cuticle. Well, I push back the cuticle super quickly, but I also have a cuticle bit. Here's a picture of a cuticle bit. Nice cuticle bit. I've been using this one. I have a couple, but this is the one I've been using. It's available on Shecago Beauty Source. A cuticle bit is essential to nail prep because you're removing that true cuticle. While you may see the cuticle on the nail, there's a true cuticle that grows from underneath there, and it's clear, it's transparent, you can't see it, you need to push that back, and that particular flap of skin emits oil, and therefore if you're laying acrylic on top of that, yeah, it's going to emit oil and it's going to lift. So there you have it. Number 3. That was number 3. Let's keep going. Acrylic. Y'all. I see this all the time with a lot of new nail techs who want to skip the real practical knowledge of nail technology and the procedures and understanding the nail and the skin and all of that. I see this all the time. Number 4 is acrylic all on the darn skin. What are y'all doing? Acrylic on the skin. That's really a no-brainer. If your acrylic is lifting, take a realistic look at your acrylic. If it's on the skin, that's why it's lifting, because skin emits oils. If it's on the skin, it's not sealed, and there you have it. There's not really much to say there. Acrylic on the skin. Acrylic on the skin. Acrylic on the skin. You already know the answer is on that one. You know your acrylic is on your skin. You got to work on your ratios, your powder product ratios. You got to learn how to use your brush with your powder, your monomer and your polymer. You got to balance all 3, monomer, polymer, and your brush. Maybe you need to adjust the size, you know, the timing. It's too cold, it's too hot in the room. It's on the skin. If it's on the skin, it's going to lift. It's going to lift. We already know this is on. It's going to lift. It's going to lift. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. Number 5. Very important. You like this smock? This is the latest smock that I'm wearing right now. I have a couple of them. This is available on the website, Shecago Beauty Source. Boop. Let's get back into it. Number 5. Your nails are simply not clean. You're going through the motion so fast, you're not taking time to clean. If I have time in the list of videos that I have, I'm going to do a nail prep video, what I currently do for nail prep. It's really quick. But make sure you're cleaning the nails, because you'd be surprised, honey. You'd be surprised what people do before they come to you. Okay? People will eat before they come see you. People will drink before they come see you. People will be all in their makeup and doing their face and pulling their hands through their hair before they come see you. Then they come see you. Make sure the nails are clean. You don't know how much oil is on the nail. You don't know how much debris is on the nail. If I'm doing a client and I've prepped the nails all the way, and if one of my clients are watching, they'll tell you, I am like this. If they touch their face or they touch their hair after I prep their nails, I'm like, darn it, why did you just do that? Now I gotta re-prep your nails. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it could be some oil. You probably transfer some oil. They're like, you're such a, what did they say? They said something like, you're such a neat freak or something like that. I'm like, that's whatever. But they appreciate that. I take no chances, honey. That's why my clients can come every month, 6 weeks, 9 weeks. I'm telling you. But I would say 85 to 90% of my clients come once a month, once every 6 weeks. But I'd rather take these precautions than not take them and have a clientele full of people who are constantly bothering me about lifting. So, are your nails clean? Are they? Question, are they? Be real with yourself. How do I clean my nails? Okay, so I'm going to put this picture up here. I use Sanix nails. These are not even, sorry. I use Sanix strips, which are the neck strips. And this is the perfect thing. I have a bulk amount of them on the website because it's the, you know, they have nail wipes, and you know, I'm all about saving money. So this is something I've been doing for years. I've told my other nail tech friends, you all spending all this money on this fancy stuff, but this is a way to buy enough for a year, you know, and just be done with it. And so one neck strip per client. It cleans the nail, it's lint free, it's perfect. Sanix nail neck strips. That's how I clean the nail. But I'm going to do a video to further explain all this. I guess I need to write that down, huh? Yeah, so not clean. Let's move on to number 6. Let's move on to number 6. Now, this one right here is where I feel like I need to put up a diagram. So I'm going to put up this diagram right here. This is a set of nails that I did a long time ago. The girl just had the perfect nail bed. I just love the application. I just took some pictures for future reference for different things. This is a perfectly, in my opinion, perfectly set of laid acrylic, which I do on all my sets, but I just want to capture a picture just for reference. And number 6 is why I'm putting up this picture. Too thick in the wrong area. I want a lot of nail techs to understand that it is important. I watch stuff all day, every day, and everyone wants to go back and forth about too thick, too thin, too thick, too thin. This, It don't really matter as long as the nail is correctly thick and concave in the right area. The right area, I'm going to circle it right here. The right area is right there where the apex should be. Where the apex should be. In the apex area, you need to have that should be the thickest area on the nail. Okay? If the acrylic is too thick on near the cuticle, it will lift because the balance is off. You need to have a nice balance, and this is something that comes over time. Your thickest point should be at the concave apex area of the nail. And so a lot of nail techs have not mastered laying the acrylic properly, and therefore they're getting lifting. It's not touching the skin. I cleaned it. I did everything. I double primed it. I bond-aided it and I primed it, and it's still lifting. Your proportions are off as to where you're laying the acrylic. Understand that where I just circled here is the thickest point, and that's the concave. It's the highest point. So you have the highest point horizontally, and you have the highest point like vertically. So that it should be the concave area. That concave on the nail, that is the most important point of the nail. So therefore, as they are touching things throughout the day, so you gotta dig a little deeper. Everybody think nails are so easy breezy. It's a science and it is a skill that takes time. Oh, and some don't get me wrong, we got some people that are just naturally gifted. I'm not gonna lie. When I went to school, I've been doing nails for years, unlicensed. I don't suggest that now because times are different, but some of us are naturally gifted. But for those of you all who are really trying to do it, understand that this is a skill that takes time for some people. You gotta really understand how to lay it. You gotta understand how to lay it. That's something that you really want to work on. I don't care about designs like that. Designs are nice, but what's the point in having great designs on people on sloppy nails that are popping off and don't stay on? Okay? What's the point? That won't build you a clientele. That'll just get you customers. So Too thick in the wrong area. That is number 6. Okay. This video would be forever if I went too deep into that, but that is that's number 6. It's one of the reasons. Number 7. MMA versus EMA. MMA versus EMA. Okay, so I do work over other people's work. A lot of nail techs don't work over other people's work. I do. But I can also tell as soon as they sit in my chair, oh, you got MMA on your nails. MMA has gotten a little bit better over the years to me because it used to be a hot mess. Sometimes what happens with lifting, especially if you have a client that's coming to you with MMA on their nails and you do a fill-in on them, MMA is a more abrasive, more harsh, non-forgiving, non-shock absorbent acrylic, okay? It's used for products, and when you go and you're using EMA is more flexible, it has more shock absorbency, and so when you're placing that on top of an MMA, guess what happens is they're touching and doing things throughout the day. Those two are fighting each other. Let's think about this. Those two are fighting each other, and so that may cause some lifting around the cuticle area because you got the super hard acrylic down here, you got your more flexible acrylic that you laid up here, and as you're touching things, it's pulling against those because those are two different cured products laying on the same nail bed. So that's something to think about in terms of why acrylic may be lifting. In that case, I may suggest that you want to soak that person out, okay? And then just put your acrylic on there because those two will fight each other. It all varies. There is no one answer. I'm just giving you different reasons as to why this may be happening. Okay, let's move on because that was number 7, MMA versus EMA. Number 8. Let's see here. Number 8. Interesting. Number 8 is one of those things where you won't know if you're not doing a consultation or you're not talking. That's why it's important to talk and not be an introvert. You can't be an introvert in this business. Your client may be on some medications, okay? Some things may have changed in your client's life, and they're not telling you about it. They could be on new hormone medication. They could have just started chemo or something like that. They could have just started a whole new vitamin regimen. They could have just went vegan, okay? Different things like that affect the nail bed, okay? And they won't tell you. You gotta probe. You gotta do it in a subtle way. It's a certain je ne sais quoi that you must have. But you gotta be probing and finding what's going on. You have to be the professional, and the professional knows how to probe without being too invasive in an obvious way to find out what's going on, especially if you're having issues with that person lifting. So that client could have some lifestyle changes or life-changing events that are causing their nails to lift. Just saying. Let's keep it moving. That was number 8. Number 9. This was on you. Your liquid is dirty, honey. Your liquid is dirty. It's dirty, honey. Throw that. Boo. Throw that out. Right over there. Put in the garbage can. It's dirty. I know we try to stretch our liquid. Some people pour a new batch of liquid for every set. Some of us don't. But you got to know when your liquid is dirty. When it's getting cloudy, it's dirty. If it's cloudy to the point where it's starting to be a little milky, you should have threw that away 2 sets ago. And that's straightforward. Your liquid is dirty, honey. It's time to rinse and repeat. Replace that darn liquid, okay? There's not much more to say about that. Number 10, your primer. This is on you again. This is on you again. Your primer is whack. Time for a little confession. Not too long ago, I ran out of my no lift primer, which is available on the site. This is what I use currently. No lift primer. I also like Easy Flow primer. But the old school no lift primer is what I use, and it's tried and true. I ran out, I was being lazy, and I bought some of that no brand, no name primer, and my clients' nails were lifting. And I quickly discovered that's what it was, and I had to throw that crap away. So your primer is whack. When it comes to certain things, I feel like you should not skip and just get what you're gonna get. Get the right thing, honey. Do not skip. Get the right thing. Whack primer. Nothing more to say about that. Okay. The last two, that was number 10. So the last two is a combination of responsibility between you and the client. So number 11 is just, it's an old ass set. It's old. It's an old set. It's old. Look, there's nothing more to say, honey. It's old. It's old. It's old. How often should you recommend a person? Because people ask me this all the time. This is my general rule of thumb. I tell people quarterly. You should be getting a new set. Quarterly. And if not, well, what is quarterly? Every time the seasons change. Get a new set, at least. Okay? So they should be getting a set for the winter, the spring, the summer, and the fall. They should be soaking out, getting a new set. And I have clients that soak out way more than that. But generally speaking, don't be trying to hold no set on forever and a darn day. There are people who do walk around with sets for 6 to 7, 8 months, but guess what? There are inevitably going to be cracks and lifts and micro hair lifts that you may not see, and those are breeding grounds for bacteria and different things to seep in and to set up, okay? And what happens is, as soon as that happens, they're going to be blaming you, but it's up to you as the professional to advise them to soak out and get a new set, okay? It protects you in a couple ways. It protects you from being blamed when the person gets bacterial infections and different things like that, and a lot of lifting. You got to refresh it. These are just nails, and this is something you got to remind people. Okay, yeah, you paid this much for your nails, but at the end of the day, it's just nails. Just because you pay $80, $90, $100, whatever, 60, 50, whatever, it's just nails. It's just plastic that I put on your nails. It doesn't last forever. You know, and some people feel like because they paid so much money for their nails, they should last forever, when they forget that they're paying you for your time, your expertise, and usually the design work. It does not mean it's supposed to last forever. So it is a good rule of thumb to remind people that these need to be soaked out. Your nails need to be cleansed. We need to get in, you know, a deep dive into the nail bed and around the cuticle and all that, and get you scrubbed underneath with a scrub brush so we can lay a fresh new set to keep your nails in healthy condition, your skin in healthy condition. You know, and if they don't do it, then when they come back, if they have issues, you can say, well, you know, I recommend every 3 months. See, you cover yourself. So the set is simply too darn old, honey. It's time to soak out. Beauty costs money. Beauty costs money, and if it's too much for them, then they simply can't afford it. And that's not your problem, that's their problem. Hey, I do my stuff legit, and you know, I try to do things in your best interest and my best interest. Your best interest and my best interest over here, but I'm not going to go along with the shenanigans, because at the end of the day, it'll backfire on you. If you see a person's nails that needs to be soaked out, they dirty, they got crud all stuck up underneath where the natural nail done grown out and it's a detaching, and you keep gluing it down, for them. You're just gluing down dirt and debris. At a certain point, you be like, you know, you need to really soak these out. You're trapping, having me glue this down, but I'm gluing down barbecue sauce and everything you've been eating and dirt and debris. And, you know, I don't want you to come back in my chair and say that, you know, hey, look at me, I got a fungus, I got this. You got to clean, you got to take this off and clean. You got to do a deep scrub at some point. So sometimes the set is just old, honey, and that's why they lifting and not staying down. It's not even that deep. They already know. Quit trying to be cheap. It is what it is. You want to have these beauty services. Beauty services cost money, and if they try to be cheap with it, you better advise them that that's on them. Especially if they're really bad and you find yourself with the same client putting in a lot of extra work to keep those nails up. If you find if you find yourself spending a whole bunch of extra time on a client because they're trying to hold on to a set that needs to be soaked off, you need to have a real conversation with them. It's just business. It's just business. Or you start charging them more. Okay? Because time is money. And if you're spending extra time trying to keep up an old set, you're doing nobody. You're shorting yourself at the end of the day. You're shorting yourself. Now, the last one. This is my trusty set of books. Trusty set of ideas. Trust your crazy ideas. The last one is, and this has been happening a lot lately. It's not even that big. It's just the last one. The last one is, the client is simply waiting too long. This is number 12. Number 12. The client is simply waiting too long in between fill-ins. And that's just what it is. Everybody can't go 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, okay? You got those people that do that, and yes, we post those type of things like, oh yeah, this client waited this long. This client waited that long. So other people are trying to do that, but everyone can't get away with that. It depends on the person's daily activities and their living situation and what they do for a living, okay? So everybody cannot get away with going forever without a fill-in. There are some people who do need to get a fill-in every 2 weeks. Back in the day, all my clients got fill-ins every 2 weeks. That was just the norm. But nowadays, I notice that people are stretching their fill-ins out. And the truth of the matter is, and I've told people this too, you know, fill-ins are supposed to be done every 2 weeks, not every 60 days or every 30 and 40 days. That's not the norm. The real recommended time for a fill-in is 2 weeks, no more than 3. So don't let clients make you feel guilty if they come to you 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Talking about, oh, look at, they broke, they just did it. You're supposed to come every 2 weeks. And I say that. You know the real time is 2 weeks. You all choose to stretch it beyond 2 weeks. Basically saying, I'm not responsible for that in no way, shape, or form. Actually, it's a compliment because your work is lasting beyond 2 weeks. Do not feel like your nails need to be indestructible. They're just nails. They're just plastic laid on top of a person's natural nail bed. Make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to do. Make sure you're advising your clients on the time they should be soaking out, how often they should be coming in for a fill-in, and we're going to see how things go with what we're doing. And if it's not lasting, a month or whatever, don't you feel no type of way, boo-boo, because it's not really supposed to be lasting that long. Clients nowadays are just choosing to wait that long because nail services have increased in price and everybody wants all this fancy stuff and it's costing money. And so because it's costing them more money, they're trying to stretch it out because that's what's in their budget. But don't let them lay that responsibility so heavily on you if you're doing everything you're supposed to do, okay? So that's all I have to say. I promised this video I wasn't feeling good, so it took a minute to get it out. I have so much more to come. And don't forget, check out Shecago Beauty Source for a lot of new items. If you have consultation that you want, let me know. And oh, this is the last thing. I'm going to go ahead, and I wrote it down. I'm going to go ahead and make a video. Because you all, man, y'all ain't listening. And I'm going to make a video. And at this point, what I'm going to do is refer people to this video. It's going to be a whole video on how to choose a school. How to find and choose a school in your area to do nails. Because I'm still getting people asking me that. I don't understand it. I can't understand how people say they watch my videos, yet they keep asking me to do that for them. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make a whole video on how you can do it. So, that's coming too. Okay, till the next video, you guys. Bye.